our concepts a part of the pure natural science that we try to protect in FED.
No.
And so
that's what I was trying to explain to you before. The wave function is a pure description. It's a concept, right?
Okay, so I'm going to follow you through to the logical conclusion then, that, dare I use the term, the collapse of the wave function has some connection to knowledge.
That's not the phenomenon that's occurring here.
Number 3, if the which path information is known or can be known, then we will observe wave function collapse.
Yeah, that wave function collapsing. Ignore it. It's a distraction.
Is that what the problem is? I'm just going along with I'm just moving along with the language. Hold up, homeboy.
Please, I am not making up the language.
Yeah, we already know that.
Oh, he'll be on tomorrow asking Nathan.
It's not the phenomena that we're discussing.
Right, but once we get to that point, right, this language is used for some reason.
It's describing a concept. Doesn't have physical reality.
That's right. In support of the things he said, he had citations and everything showing that when mathematics comes into the process, it is no longer natural science.
Whoa, it's a descriptive concept, and I don't know how you're disconnecting that or connecting it with it being not science. It wasn't science in the first place. There's no science to it. Follow?
And we can actually observe with our eyes, not just the image on the screen, but the collapse.
No.
There is nothing to collapse. You understand that it's not the phenomena.
Number 3, if the which path information is known or can be known, then we observe wave function collapse.
It's not the phenomena.
When Michelson Morley did the experiment, Michelson.
Whoa! Stop. Stop. Experiment, you say? What was the?
I mean, whatever.
Well, no, not whatever. What's the hypothesis?
Stars moving, maybe.
Stars moving is not a viable scientific hypothesis. In this context, a test is an experiment.
All right, I'll shut up.
Thank you.
I like that question, by the way. I would like to see if you.
What's radio?
Yeah, radio waves.
Number one, they're not waves.
You said it is no wave. What is it?
Like it's a particle.
It's a particle.
Mm-hmm. They're not waves. They're particles. Shown to you about 100 years ago with the photoelectric effect and Compton scattering.
What's the hypothesis for the photoelectric effect?
Say again?
What's the hypothesis for Compton
It's
scattering?
not an experiment. It's not an experiment.
And I'm skipping a lot of stuff here. Einstein then performed the photoelectric effect. That experiment that showed photons were particles.
It's not an experiment.
Einstein didn't receive a Nobel Prize for those fairy tales, general and special relativity, which aren't scientific theories anyway, by the way. He received it for this, the photoelectric effect, and it's well deserved. All right, so credit where credit is due. And Compton scattering, this experiment right here,
it's not an experiment.
The death knell. It sealed the coffin shut. Photons are particles. So we have a cause, back to our cause and effect relationship. We have two choices. Well, if we have a cause and effect relationship and we only have two choices, what can we do? I know. Excuse me, I almost choked. I know. Let's do the scientific method.
It must be real bright outside because QE's got particles all in his throat.
Alternative hypothesis. If the which path information is known or can be known, then we will observe wave function collapse. Virgin, he's going to fire a coherent light source, and he's going to get an interference pattern on this back wall. But, you know, after those experiments by Einstein and Compton and a few others, they said, well, wait a second.
I could have made a 30-minute video on his lies about just how many times he's claimed the photoelectric effect's an experiment and Compton scattering an experiment that proved particles. He's been lying for years. Okay, I call him out, and he has no choice but to admit it ain't science. But you've been lying for years, dude. What's up?
You know, photons are particles. Why are we getting this interference pattern back here? You know, after those experiments by Einstein and Compton and a few others,
Propagate. That means travel through. Shits it. So what does the electromagnetic waves propagate, that is travel through?
Oh boy, wait till you hear QE's explanation of how they travel.
You guys are getting the picture. Now he's just going to tell you. So Michelson-Morley, for example, notice they don't say experiment anymore. Isn't it funny that they don't do that anymore?
Yeah, hilarious, bro. Like you quit calling the double slit experiment an experiment when we called you out. We haven't called the Michelson-Morley an experiment on purpose anyway, since we learned natural science. We're just trying to get information out about the interferometry.
So everything looks good for Maxwell till you start doing the following experiment. It's not an experiment, it's a demonstration, but besides the fact, I like it. It's not an experiment, it's a demonstration, but...
What quantum mechanics experiments have validated is that as soon as this photon is fired from here, right? From here to the detector, until it hits this detector, there is no photon here. You think I'm crazy? There's nothing here, folks. I'm telling you there isn't. You think I'm out of my mind? Okay. From Werner Heisenberg, the atoms or elementary particle themselves are not frigging real.
So you heard it here first. They are not real. And you're going to ask people, what's the ether? Okay, and then you're going to make fun of people talking about how light travels, and you don't even believe they travel at all. They're not even in existence until they hit the plate. And this man knows full well Austin's belief on the behavior of light, and he just waits for him to speak it in layman's terms and clips it out. This man is not honest. He's been lying for years.
Until it hits this detector, there is no photon here.
So you're saying we call it a particle?
Yeah, I'm saying.
What's the name of it? What are we talking about?
It just replications of Michelson-Morley and Michelson-Gell-Pearson. So the Sagnac effect. It doesn't have to be Michelson-Morley specifically. It's been done in the 21st century.
Stop! I'm getting confused. Stop! You're going too fast.
No, yeah.
Michelson-Morley. That's a guy.
No, that's two guys, and it's just the name of a demonstration that's improperly labeled an experiment.
Oh, I see. So could it be that the improper labelling of it as an experiment would be the reason we would call it a parlour trick, because it's definitely not an experiment? Could that be the reason?
Sure.
Sure. Oh, well, that's solved. Well, I'm glad we thrashed that out, Witsit. Very reasonable of you.
Okay, so then you agree we should still acknowledge the measurement.
I don't think we've done anything wrong here, Witsit. You've just acknowledged how we don't seem to have done anything wrong in this respect. It's not really an experiment.
Well, it's funny you guys say the double...
Nothing's funny. We just haven't done anything wrong when we call it out as a parlour trick because it's not an experiment. That seems perfectly reasonable. Can we move on?
Okay, it's mislabeled an experiment, but do you agree we should still acknowledge...
Why are we now talking about it still? Who cares? We call it a parlour trick because it's not an experiment. You now call it just the Michelson-Morley. You don't call it an experiment anymore. So as a result of us calling it a parlour trick, you've relabeled it because it's incorrectly assigned. Good. We're all clear. Nothing else needs to be discussed.
Parlour trick.
You started off by claiming that we stop people from talking about this. That was your original claim. Total lie, isn't it?
See, this is why...
Don't stutter. It was a total lie to say that we shut people down and stop them from talking about this.
Okay, well, that's why relativity was created.
Right, are you telling me you're going around peddling this crap to this community based on a fucking parlour trick? I'm asking you why you're peddling this stupid shit.
My point is pretty simple. Right. So it's simple, right? So Michelson-Morley, for example, we had lights go different directions, and one of the
couldn't care less. This is a parlour trick. Stop. Stop. Do you give a crap about this parlour trick?
You could make a career covering Nathan's horse shit, but listen to him call Austin a liar. Like he doesn't shut down the conversation any time somebody wants to bring up the Michelson-Morley, which we quit calling an experiment. We're trying to discuss the interferometry and all the great new data out in the actual flat earth community, how it destroys the globe. And he just shuts it down and is literally calling Austin a liar. It's ridiculous.
You've got your instructions like a good little dog. Now on you go with your instructions that I have given you. Go, be gone.
Can I lay out my actual position? So that you made quantitative claim. You made quantitative claims and claimed it was science. And then Jaron corrected you behind the scenes, and then you didn't admit it.
Sorry, do you want to be a bit more specific there?
What is science proven? And they say water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
No, we wouldn't say that. We would say heat causes water to boil. How many times do I have to tell you that? With your little hypothetical here that you dreamed up in between the funhouse mirrors between your ears is horseshit. We don't say that. So we're just smashing it here with cowbell. So here comes some more. Scientists using the scientific method have proven. You ready? Number one, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius at sea level. 1 atmosphere of pressure, that's 101 kilopascals or 14.7 psi.
And then they'd say, okay, what is science proven? And they say water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
No, we wouldn't say that. We would say heat causes water to boil. How many times do I have to tell you that?
So that would be science. Why on unholy hell would you tell us that it's open to change after the fact?
Because it is. Because
no, if it's proven something, Tom, it's proven. It's not open to interpretation after the fact. It's proven. That's what.
Okay, so could you give an example?
Water boiling at 100 degrees at sea level.
No, we wouldn't say that. We would say heat causes water to boil. How many times do I have to tell you that?
Hypothesis. If heat independent variable, then water boils, dependent variable, at 100 degrees C at sea level. Null. If heat independent variable, then water does not boil, dependent variable, at 100 degrees C.
Horseshit. We don't say that. Horseshit. We don't say that. So.
But what we're actually doing is arguing about whether water boils at 100 degrees C or not.
No, we wouldn't say that. See if these have changed. You ready? Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level, 1 atmosphere of pressure, 101 kilopascals, or...
Yes, for example, with the water boiling things, you guys said that a scientific hypothesis is that heat causes water to boil at sea level at 100 degrees Celsius. That's a quantitative claim, and you guys claimed it was science. And he said, well, it doesn't look like it's always exactly 100. You shouldn't make a quantitative claim because science is qualitative. And instead of admitting that you guys misspoke, you acted like you never said it. And then Brian literally found like 30 clips of you both and you and QE saying it dozens of times. And now this whole room lies and pretends you never said it.
Okay, so you wouldn't say that the 100 degrees C is inferring a constant variable as opposed to something that's going to vary in the amount of it. You don't think that the stating it... I haven't quite finished there, Witsit. I did give you 2 opportunities to repeat your claim. I did understand it, and I am now going to rip it to
I thought you were done,
brother. You just have to sit and take it. So when we state it as 100 degrees C specifically, would you say that that one number infers that it's going to vary, or would you say that that one number infers a control variable at that quantity?
Now, this part I was expecting some type of retraction, because this is the clips I pulled out to show that they literally changed their story. And, you know, it wouldn't have took much, man, to satisfy me. But what does Nathan do, and why doesn't it surprise me? He responds with questions. So no matter how Austin answers this, it's just going to pin him down somehow or another with bullshit.
No,
It's
because
getting
you're
pretty redundant.
invoking that actual temperature as the cause.
Oh, so it would actually infer a cause and effect relationship with heat then?
Yeah, but it can't be...
Yeah. So even an idiot like you can see how that was actually inferring a cause and effect relationship where heat was the cause. I see, Witsit. That kind of undermines your position there, Witsit. Did you not see how I trapped you really
Listen, that
easily
means
there,
that
Witsit? Did you like how easily I trapped you there, Witsit? It was really easy.
Yeah, and also really dishonest. Like, God, I don't know if I can stomach watching this show anymore, man. But, you know, water boiling does not fall under science in the first place. It falls under the laws of thermodynamics. What the F?
It would be nonsensical for me to make this statement without this one attached. I'd be an idiot. They would immediately know that I'm clearly clueless. Right? So that's why it has to be attached here.
I understand now from your dissemination of your rebuttal that you don't understand the difference between quantitative and qualitative measures in logic, because you've just told me about how much of something.
I'd be an idiot. They would immediately know that I'm clearly clueless.
Heat causes water to boil, holding all things constant.
I'd be an idiot.
The crazy thing, the root of all this is quantum erasers' lies, acting like it's been proven light's a particle with the photoelectric effect and Compton scattering, calling them experiments. For years he's been lying. So all this time it's been lies. I hope Nathan and others see that it's just been a big bunch of bullshit, causing nothing but division.